Hi guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. The Sarah Boone jury has finally been sent to deliberations, complete with a note penned by the one and only Sarah Blaine Boone herself. Just kidding, of course. I had to throw that in. Anyway, uh, but hey, they are in deliberations now and will be until 10 p.m. tonight. So we are officially on jury watch, on the edge of our seats, no less. While we anxiously await the jury's decision, let's take a little trip down memory lane and revisit some of Sarah's testimony and closing arguments. Oh, and let's not forget about the victim, Jorge Torres. The poor guy who ended up meeting a rather unfortunate fate inside a suitcase thanks to our dear Sarah Boone's farm. I'm going to roll some credits while we wait for the rest of the team Blaine Boone to roll in. Shout out to my replay crew and my dragonflies. It's Friday, babies.
The rain, it talks to me when no one else can tolerate my words that don't make sense to anyone except for me and my old friend.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Chris C. Hi, Heavenly. Hi, Hollywood. Hi, Licia. Lisa says, guilty. And she slams down her gavel. I think I am with you, and I'm going to slam down my gavel and say, guilty, guilty, guilty. And I think she should get some extra guilty for wasting all this time. Guilty. But we're waiting, and the jury will be there until 10 o'clock. I do have Law and Crime up, and they have the seal is up, and I'm just waiting. If I hear anything in the background, I will stop what we're doing and fly us over to the verdict. But while we're waiting, I thought it would be just kind of interesting to go over the state. I was just thinking they must have some people in Orlando that are just like really good with their comebacks, because the state was really good with their comebacks. And one of my favorite ones was when Sarah got on the stand and he gets her up there and he's like, because everybody was pretty shocked when you saw how small George was, right? George being, I guess now we found out it was supposed to be her fiance. He's been elevated from boyfriend, but at any rate, her victim was so small. And he says to her, he says, you used to weigh 98 pounds, correct? Or at the time of the, something like at the time of the offense, you weighed 98 pounds. And she's like, yes. And he says something like, and it's safe to say you've gained weight, correct? Sarah, Sarah Boone's hair. Well, yes. But I just thought that was like, they're very good at their slams. Yeah, Mr. J, brilliant. He was really good. And so and of course, Sarah sitting up on the stand, it was really good too. One of my favorite parts was when she came up with her, her little skirt on, and so we could see her unchained, unshackled ankles, and she showed us that suitcase. And it was terrifying to see how small that suitcase actually was, because you can see how small it is in that horrific video, but to see it in the courtroom, it really put some things together for me. So I'm going to get my screen together and we're going to get going. Here is Jorge's obituary February 13th, 1978 to February 24th, 2020. The family of Jorge Torres Jr. created this Life Tributes page to make it easy to share your memories. So they had the obituary and service. Let me just make sure you're seeing it. You are, okay. Obituary for Jorge Torres Jr. Jorge Torres Jr., 42, of Orlando, Florida, passed away Monday, February 24th, 2020. He was born on February 13th. He was almost a Valentine's Day baby. 1978 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. George is survived by his parents. I don't know. They call him Jorge and George. So I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth. Jorge Torres Sr. and Bianca Torres, daughter Anna Victoria Torres, son Jorge Torres III. Oh, wow. So there was more than one Jorge. That's interesting. Daughter Destiny. Actually, my aunt, when growing up, my Aunt Jane lived on this street where they named all of their kids Dolly Borka, even the boys. But there was like a minor inflection at the end, but they were all Dolly Borkas. So that might be something that, families do, obviously. So there's a lot of siblings here. Wow, he had a lot of siblings. How many siblings is that? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, I'm getting into the daughters. Okay, I'm sorry. Daughter Destiny Mia Torres, brother Victor Manuel Valentin, sister Maria Trim, sister Aurora Torres, brother Jorge Torres, brother Juan. No, I'm confused. Okay, so then it goes into the daughter, brother, sister. We must be just hopping around. But that's a lot of siblings, right? At least 10. I don't know. There will be a viewing for friends on Monday, March 2nd, 2020 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Good Life Funeral Home located in. And so let's see. If there's any photos and videos. Not a lot of photos and videos. Just ones that we've all seen, and maybe this is where we all got this photo from. But there's this one. I will say this: he has a large presence, and there's another one. A large presence in his photos, because I would have never thought that he's as small as he is. Even though, like, looking at him now, I can see he's pretty small, but never really dawned on me. It also never dawned on me when they said a bottle of wine that they meant mega pint of wine. Like, that should be a thing now. You shouldn't be able to call mega pints bottles of wine, because I really thought it was a bottle of wine. So let's see if anyone wrote on the tribute wall. 2 friends sent flowers to the family. Jay lit a candle in memory. Jorge, you will get your justice one way or another. Can't believe you're treated this way. Much love coming your way. Oh, that was only 17 hours ago. This must be all of us writing on there. Yeah. I feel so horrible for this family. I heard that they sat in the front row the whole time. I can't even imagine. they did an interview with Court TV. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up, guys. Helps me dance out into the algorithm. Party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really, really appreciated. And if you really like my content, be sure to click that subscribe button. And if you do that, then you have to do the whole bell thing, and that just, helps you know when we go live. And we go live on Sunday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Very special voices for the victim in the suitcase murder trial for Jorge Torres. Prosecutors say that he was murdered by his longtime girlfriend, Sarah Boone, who had him trapped inside of a suitcase, beat him, and left him to die. The defense is saying that Sarah Boone was acting in self-defense. Now, Jorge Torres' family is speaking out this morning, saying that he's being unfairly depicted as an abuser and that it was Sarah Boone who was the real aggressor. Now, since early in this case, seen evidence of Boone's problems with Torres' family.
To know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that they're going to think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that. I told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them.
I want to welcome in our special guest now. We have Jorge Torres' oldest daughter, Ana Victoria Torres, with us. We also have Dolores Ortiz with us, who is Jorge Torres' first wife, and she also brought with her this morning her youngest daughter, Destiny. First of all, my heart goes out to all of you, and for all of us here at Court TV, we are so sorry for your loss. Thank you for coming on the show, and I know that you really want to clear the air. And Ana Victoria, I know you've wanted to kind of be the family spokesperson, so I want to start with you, please.
One other thing that I didn't realize was that he had such older I think they were like, his daughter's like 30 and I didn't realize that he had kids that were in their 30s.
The way that your dad has been depicted as being an abuser in this trial, I know that it has upset you and you felt it's very unfair. Tell us why.
I think
story, and unfortunately, we are the voices now, and the way the trial has gone and the way things.
I'm sorry, I just have to stop. She looks just like her dad, does she not? Look at that face, just like her dad. Beautiful.
Have taken place. Have
just like them.
Nobody has ever contacted us to hear our story or ask us questions in regards to our father, his character, or the relationship.
I wondered why the family hadn't come forward, and she's saying that nobody contacted them. I really thought the family was waiting till after the verdict to give their interviews.
Between him and Sarah Boone. Me and my siblings actually spoke to our father that night, and we have a lot of experiences with Ms. Boone that do not speak to what the media is stating she is, a victim or a gentle individual. I'm sure she's loved over there at jail due to the fact that Sarah Boone is very, very calculated. She by no means is a kind and sweet, soft-spoken woman. She is very calculated, very devious, very conniving. My father...
We all know she's not soft-spoken because we've seen Sarah Boone over these 5 years. And that is why I purposely put soft-spoken Sarah Boone, because I almost fell off my seat when I saw that Newsweek was reporting her as that. So I was like, man, I got to run with that one.
Was sheltered and berated. He was kept from us. He was the real victim in this situation. Unfortunately, again, as stated, he is not here to tell his story, but we are here to give his side the best we can from the view that we were able to see things.
Sure. Ana Victoria, in one of the videos that we've all seen, Sarah Boone told police that George's family didn't like her and that they referred to her as the blue-eyed white dragon. Would you talk about where that nickname came from And if it's true that you all didn't like her, and in particular, why?
I can definitely answer that. As far as the nickname is concerned, that was created all through Sarah's little brain. Other than that, she was definitely correct as far as us not liking her, and she should have stated that she didn't like us either, because that is very much correct as well. She, like I stated, is very evil, and what she is acting out there on the stand and within that courtroom is baffling to me, because that is not the real Sarah Boone at all. But yeah, she was correct. We don't like her. We didn't like her. That would never change. Unfortunately, I do feel bad for her and I wish her the best. But what I do wish is that my father receives his justice and she gets the time that she deserves. And a slap on the wrist is not it. Other than that, as far as a relationship with Sarah, one that was a good one, there wasn't one. We tried. We definitely tried, but she did not.
And Victoria, thank you for sharing all of that. I want to go to your mom now. Dolores, you were married to George for 14 years. I have 3 beautiful children with him. 2 of them are here with us today, Destiny and Anna Victoria. We understand that at one point, Sarah Boone tried to fight you. Tell us about that.
Not per se fight me, because I want to say that we've had one engagement, which was for my children's birthday party that they attended later in the evening. So I really have never had like a confrontation. It was verbal over the phone. She had threatened me a couple times to come over and that she would dust her doormat for myself and my daughters. But it was basically verbal threats that she would give every time that George would call his children, any chance that he had, that he was able to call his children to speak, and I was present. It was a problem for George. She was very much jealous of me for what reason I'm not aware of, but we never had physical altercations.
Well, and that's a very good thing. Tell us, Dolores, during your marriage to George, was he ever violent with you or any of your kids?
He was never violent with my children. We would have normal husband and wife family spats here and there, but never to the point where police were ever involved, DHS was ever involved. We were never that type of family. I can't relate to Sarah and the abuse that she so-called claims that she's received from George, because I never received abuse like that. I want to say the only thing that I can say about George is that he was a ladies' man.
Gotcha. Okay. And so just
she's saying he cheated on her, but didn't abuse her in that way.
Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table, wearing the same clothing from this morning. Yes, Mr. Beck.
Well, Judge, they've got her in chains, and they've got her in the ankle handcuffs, so she can't go anywhere. I'm just asking.
He still wants her chains off?
The jury coming in, I'm asking if there's any way we can take off the handcuffs and the waist chain, so that the jury wouldn't see it in case there's something wrong with the verdict form, or there's an issue, which sometimes happens. But that's my position.
Okay. I've been advised by the sheriff that during the reading of the verdict, due to Ms. Boone's status as an inmate, their leg irons and the cuffs are to be attached.
Well, she's going to stay seated.
That's fine.
Mr. Beck's going to stay seated.
I would ask for us all to remain seated, and could you remind everybody in the gallery that there should be no emotional reactions.
I was just about to address that, sir. Thank you very much. All right, members of the jury, my understanding, or members of the gallery, good evening. My understanding is that the jury in this matter has reached a verdict. I don't know what it's going to be until it's read. If you are unable to contain yourself emotionally and you're going to react in any way, be it in joy or in sadness, I'm going to ask you politely to excuse yourself at this time. There cannot be any emotional outbursts when the verdict is read. Does everybody understand that? I see everybody nodding their heads. Okay. All right, State, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
So don't get up, Heavenly. I think it's funny how they came to an agreement that everybody was going to stay seated. Nobody get up. I've never heard that in a deliberate, before a verdict is read. Nobody get up for when the jury comes in. If Sarah's not getting up, nobody's getting up. Sarah's putting on a smile. I actually feel bad.
State, do you recognize our
She's
jury?
going to be found guilty.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? Fine. Members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you. Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit in Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the state of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Juror seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict? Yes, it is. Juror seat number 3, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Members of our jury, again, I want to thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together, and it was not taken lightly, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case.
Jorge Torres Jr. made national news in 2020 with his sudden death in such a tragic way. But really, there hasn't been much information about Jorge and who he was before Sarah Boone. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into his life and what we know about him and his family. Jorge Torres Jr. was born February 13th, 1978 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His parents, Blanca and Jorge, had 10 children.
10.
So Jorge
I knew there
had
was a lot of
9
them.
siblings. Victor, Maria, Aurora, Jose, Juan, Moses, Pharrell, Ezekiel, and Victoria. Remember some of their names because one in particular is going to make a major twist in this story. As far as I can tell, the family would live a very good chunk of their life in Philadelphia. And it was there where Jorge met Camille. They spent many years together. I would say at the very least 8 years together. They got married and they had 3 beautiful children. Anna Victoria, Jorge III, and Destiny Maya. And guys, I did my digging. Everything I went through, there was not one domestic case between him and Camille. And now I'm not saying that that never happened. I haven't heard any allegations that anything has happened between.
She has just said that there was no domestic, there was no child protective services. There was just none of that. That the only thing that he did do was he was a ladies' man, which means he cheated.
Them. But when I see their pictures and see their social media accounts, they both posted so much about family and love and just really seemed happy together, happy with their family, happy with their life. Jorge at the time even really didn't have anything on his criminal record. The only thing that I could find in Philadelphia was a DUI, but his DUI records show that his address was Florida. So that was even from later on, not when he was living in Philadelphia still. So in early 2016, Jorge was still in Philadelphia with Camille. We know that they had separated in between 2016 and 2017. With the separation and the change of location, Jorge was pretty active on social media, letting people know that he had a job in Florida, working at Ace, and even still posting family photos of his kids and his mom, and just trying to still keep up with everybody on social media. And in the beginning half of 2017, he would start posting more sensitive posts just about relationships or sayings and quotes. And he seemingly really wanted to find a new partner and was lonely, which is understandable. However, there was one post that really caught my eye, and it really is a major foreshadow knowing what we know now happened to him. Dear Bae, we're too old for hide and go seek. Where are you at? I read that and a dagger went through my heart.
Oh my gosh. That took my breath away. It's always really creepy when you see things like this after something tragic. I don't know. Is it foreshadowing? Is it just coincidence? What is it?
It's just so crazy that that would be what Sarah claims they were doing when he died. I think because he was single, putting these quotes on social media, along with his own drawings posting on social media, it allowed for people to get to know him a little bit more. And although by summer 2017 he was still single, his kids actually got to come and be with him, and he took them to Universal Studios. Besides him posting about them all the time and saying how much he missed them, you can see it in his eyes in these photos with his kids. There's so much love for them, and he really was a big family man. So I'm not sure if before Florida or during Florida, but we do know that he had had a drinking problem. Him and Sarah Boone met at a local bar, and that is how they began the relationship. Jorge, still ever present on social media, posted that he was in a relationship with Sarah on October 20th, 2017. And I want to say that the early stages of the relationship.
I did, in doing some research today, Jorge lived in Florida, and his whole family like pretty much lives in like his brothers and sisters, and a lot of them live in Florida. I think even his parents live in Florida. So it's only his kids, a few of his kids, well, maybe both of his kids that are back in Philadelphia. So he's, even though, you know, it said that his address was Florida and he was back in New York, he probably was in Florida living with his parents at the time, because when he wasn't living with Sarah, he was living with his mom and dad. Or his mom.
He seemed genuinely happy. He made a post on October 25th, so not soon after he had posted that they were officially together. He said, "To whom it may concern, my ship has come in and it's fully booked with love. I am no longer the owner of a lonely heart." Still posting his art, in February 28th, 2018, he posted his newest drawing, a character that he made and that he had named Reggie. And according to the post, Sarah Boone was the one who came up with the name. But unfortunately, just months after that, some of their turmoil would spill over onto social media. So who knows how the relationship really was when it first started, and if there was even any happy few months together. One in particular really caught my eye. He was so big on posting quotes that I think he must have posted a picture that had quotes and tagged her name in it. And you can't see the picture anymore. You can just see he had tagged her name. And she left 3 pretty mean comments under the text. The first one read, "You don't have to be new age to want to be taken care of and not treated like a housewife. It's 2018, not 1950. Maybe if you had your own woman feel good and make her happy, you'd get farther and more. Stop posting stupid shit, hoping you'll get pats on the back. There's more women on the planet, and we will all feel the same about dumbass men like you." That was almost 5 months to when they just first started dating. Not even 5 months.
Oh my
and
gosh.
That was spilling over with hatred in a very public way. That is the only thing that I have seen up until that point on any of his social media accounts with anyone, that anything like that was ever said, or people talking meanly to each other.